the most compassionate, the ever compassionate. Let's talk about closing the gap. And this technique is going to teach you how to address it whenever your mind is running, whether it has to do with what kindergarten to register to your kids to what to have for lunch. I want you to ask yourself right now, what are you still contemplating? What decision, what is the one decision that what if that keeps coming up in 101 different ways? And if you're watching the replay, just hit pause.
I think for me, you already sort of know the situation, the decision of the big move if we need to do it though. So I think it's not just about the what if, it's just like what is happening, like what the uncertainty of my situation, whether I'm going to move, whether I'm not going to move. What if I still don't find out in the next 6 months? What if I'm still like this confused, even like after a while? So yeah.
I've heard like 5 questions. 5 questions with open answers. And this is very important because I want to highlight how the answer is open-ended. It can be anything. And each question can lead to another question. Like, what if I move? But then where do I move? But then what house do I get? And it's this
Mhm.
loop.
Yeah.
So if you've had this thought for weeks, if you've been asking other opinions from people, which just personally, if you have these sorts of questions, I highly recommend not going to anyone because we are human beings. Each one of us has our own perspective. Each one of us has our own biases. And each one of us has an idea of what's right or wrong, and that can create more doubt. And the
Yeah.
more options you add, the deeper the hole is dug. So, the cost of
Yeah.
this loop, I want you to think of it like an energy gap. Like nothing is happening, but it really feels like something is happening, but something is happening and you can't pinpoint what it is. You might feel so tired, but you've just had a regular day. Your mind has just consumed all of your energy. So the mistake is in the question. It's in the design of the question and having open-ended question. And in the Quran, in Surah An-Nas, this is pinpointed as waswasa. It's the whisper. It's the what if. It's the shaitan that creates that little seed of doubt that continues to grow. And it's like each seed of doubt creates a tree with more seeds of doubt. And each one of those doubts on that tree creates more seeds of doubt. And it's the doubt that keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And it's waswasa because it's so silent, it's in your mind. We can be sitting in the same living room, and I would never know these questions are on your mind because they're internal. You are going through them alone.
Yeah.
And one thing I really want to draw on, which I mentioned in the beginning, is shaitan doesn't come to a person and say, there is no God. Shaitan creates doubt, and the doubt is in the questions. There's a hadith that is narrated where the shaitan comes to a person and says, who created this? And who created that? And who created this? And who created that? And you look at the mountains. And then he keeps on going until he asks, who created your Lord? And that doesn't say there's no Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it does create that moment of a doubt where the mind is thinking and searching in this open-ended answer or this open-ended question. And here it's really a guidance for us to seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to make a decision. Like once you have yaqeen, once you have tawakkul, once you really trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a decision. You cannot see, like, you cannot see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you decided to trust the unseen. You decided to have faith in something you cannot physically see, but you can feel in your heart. So there are two kinds of questions, and you're going to see how this applies to your everyday. From the moment you wake up and you go to work to what do you have for lunch? There are two kinds of questions. The waswasa, the what if this, what if that. These are so open-ended, and these are seeds of doubt that when you plant, they grow and they create more seeds of doubt. Whereas the kind of question that has only two options, either this or that, black or white, close or open, is the one that makes you decide and then move in that process. For example, how much time was wasted if you remember that, I think it was gold and blue dress, or it was like black
Oh
and
yeah.
gold on Instagram, and all of us were like, oh my God, what color is this? Oh my goodness. And it really, for a moment, created that like, what if it's this or that? Like, what if it's both? Like, we're lost in it. And so much time was spent with this open endedness. Whereas when there's just a black and a white or a blue and a red next to each other, you can see the colors distinctly, make a decision on which one you want.
Mm.
So when you have a question with two answers, your mind knows what to do next. When you have the open-ended question, that is where we get lost in the sauce in the day-to-day. And this can be so macro, but I want to pull it into the micro. For me, these past few weeks have been a bit uncertain because there's a lot of travel involved. And what I sat down and I did was, okay, this is how I narrowed it down. It's like, where in the world am I living? Europe or America? Europe. Okay. This country or that country? Italy. Okay. And it just took me down. So the next application I had to do was my residency. And I knew what to do the next Monday. And that's it. Whereas if that tree coming down with just two options all the way down, if that wasn't made, I could have been floating in this uncertainty, floating in this what if this, what if that, what if next, forever. But having a decision made gives you the ground base to move. And this goes as simple as, have you ever tried meal prepping?
Yeah.
How much faster does your day go?
Oh, really fast.
And how much mental energy do you save?
A lot.
A lot, because you know what's
A
in the
lot.
fridge. You open it, you eat it. You're not like, oh my God, do I have Italian or do I have sushi or do I have fish and chips? You just know what is there. And I will give you an example of how to use this. When you notice an open loop, researchers have found that ambiguity, or that space in between where it's not black, it's not white, it's gray. But okay, is the gray closer to black or is it closer to the white? That space in between creates a circuitry threat that is more correlated to a negative outcome. And this is why unresolved decisions, unresolved questions, the what if, draws energy from your mind away from the present moment, away from the breath that you have been gifted, and it literally wastes it on ideas, on thought processes, on what ifs that don't even exist. This is why waswasa comes from the shaitan. It's like every time there's an open-ended question that leads to more doubt, the mental energy, your physical being, you can be sitting with your beautiful family in the living room, but you're not there because of the what ifs. And that gets to be closed with this simple step. And I will give you the integration guide as well. I want you to bring to mind all of those questions that first came up, whether they were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And I want you to pause the video and narrow it down into one question. If you think of your mind as a choir with all these singers, with all the instruments, and they're all playing different tunes, what is the song they're all harmonizing on?
Mm. I think with every question that I came up with, at least, I think it's just we talked about it last time as well, the
Yeah.
not knowing and the uncertainty. I think that's what it's all big on because any of the what ifs or any of the questions that I ask myself, it's always about just not being able to know um, what the outcome is going to be like and whether that outcome is going to be good or not. So I think that's the overall gist of all those questions.
So, what is the question right now about the outcomes? Like, I'm hearing the uncertain response, but what is the question itself?
Um, the question itself is, I guess, what is going to happen?
In terms of what? Let's get more specific.
So like the two, for example, I told you about the main thing that's on been on my mind. So like I'm being more specific in the sense that um about my husband's job, like what is going to happen? Is it like is it going to happen or not? And if it does,
What
like
is
what
it?
is going to
What is
happen?
it?
Sorry?
What is it?
The big move, the move that we're supposed to make. Yeah. Sorry, I've lost you. I can't hear you. Let me try. Could you try again? No, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying that it is the big move, right? Like this is the ball
Yeah,
underneath everything.
yeah,
Okay. So if you look to the present moment where you are standing, in the next month, are you moving? Yes or no?
no,
Okay. That's all you need to know right now.
yeah,
And when this question comes up or the doubt starts to come up, I want you to take, like, what is this counsel in your head arguing about? And then ask it a
yeah.
yes or a no question.
Oh yeah, that instantly worked for the other thing that I was thinking about this patient situation. The what if was also playing here. That what if every whatever effort I'm making is not working. But then this applies because I'm like, for the next 2 weeks, I've given her instructions. Can I do anything? No. Does that change anything? No. So for 2 weeks, I can just take it out of my mind and put it to the side. Like there is no what if. Like we'll see what happens. When it gets to it, I'll revisit the questions.
Yes. And you'll
Yeah.
revisit the questions and you do this over and over and over again and give your mind a yes or a no. Like give your mind, it can doesn't have to be yes or no. It's just a binary. Like when you're stuck for lunch, and
Yeah.
I've noticed myself doing this, like, oh, what should I have? Where should I go? And I'm asking Claude, and I'm like, am I really outsourcing my decision to Claude? So I ask myself binary questions. I'm like, hot or cold? Cold, great. Salad or pasta? Like cold pasta. And you get to do that.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself binary questions.
Yeah. Makes
How does
sense.
it feel to know you're not moving in a month?
I'm okay actually with that because to me it's not going to affect me until we actually do because we're living our lives. There's no in like instability or anything like that. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, great. There's certainty. Do you see how you went from uncertainty to certainty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to come back to this and just give yourself two options, two doors. Reduce everything down, even if it means creating a chart that continually sprouts out into binary options, binary options, binary options. Am I traveling today? No. Do I have to do this today? Yes. And then choose, like choose one, define one thing, choose it, and take your next best action from there. And now I want to tell you the story of the best salesman at Bloomingdale's. Have you heard about this?
Um,
So, the best salesman at Bloomingdale's, the Harvard Review did a study on him. And they're like, okay, how are you selling shoes off the racks like crazy? And he was exponentially better, like nationwide in the US. And he told them it's simple. He has a rule of two. So when someone comes and asks for a pair of shoes to try on, he gives them the first, he gives them the second. And when the third option comes in, he says, choose which one to take back. So he takes
mm,
one back and he gives them the new shoe. So the client always has two shoes to pick from. Because when there's three shoes, four shoes, five pairs of shoes, that human, that queen or that princess is never going to have her Cinderella fit. And she's just going to be overwhelmed by options. She's probably going to walk out and say, I have to think about it, goes back home, thinks about it, and never gets her perfect fit because she's
mm.
overwhelmed with options. So he never says no, he just makes them choose this one or that one. And so in your day to day, this comes down as so simple. From going, if you have this question of, I don't know what to eat, instead of asking, what should I eat? You ask, should I eat hot or cold? And this is why I'm so specific with aligned action. When someone says, I'm going to do this next week, I'm going to go to the spa next week. Great. Monday morning is going to come. You're going to say, maybe tomorrow, maybe after tomorrow, maybe the day after. But when you know Thursday or Friday, Thursday, great. You pick Thursday. Thursday evening or morning, you pick Thursday evening. When Thursday evening comes, you know you have your spa appointment. And the more specific, the better. And it starts with the way you ask yourself questions.
Yeah.
And once you've decided, once you make the decision, that's when you leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That literally happened when I decided Wednesday night, okay, we'll fly to London the next day. It's like, great, I'll arrive, I'll take my hot seat, and we'll move forward. I decided I moved forward. On the way there, the flight got delayed. And I remember sitting in the car and being like, ah, like getting the notification and being like so frustrated. But I was like, there's literally nothing for me to do but do what's in my part, and that's communicate that to you all. And then trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that there's going to be time to deliver this message. Trust that this flight was delayed for a reason I can't foresee. But if I never made that decision, I would have never known. So before our next call, I want you to go to the through the integration guide. I want you to notice what open-ended questions you have coming up, and then give yourself two options and tell me what next best step you are going to do.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm
before,
excited.
tell me.
I said I'm excited for this because
I'm so excited.
I want to know what comes up, and then how do I like what do I get down to? I'm interested myself.
I'm so curious. And this is when you really get to practice authenticity because you will surprise your own self with answers because you're not asking anyone else.
Yeah.
And before we hop off, I would love to know what is your biggest takeaway?
So the biggest takeaway from today's call really was that I don't need to be over analyzing, but just whenever something comes up, I can present myself with simple options and get to the bottom of it, like without trying to. The whole idea is not wasting time on the what ifs and the
Yeah.
constant questions and the constant options, but to like really pin it down there and just move forward from on.
Yes.
Completely gave all those examples. I This is exactly what it is when I first months ago. Because something happened in my mind. I need to just be when they start accumulate again, just like yes or no's or this and that, and just cross, close. Frees
Yes.
up space.
Yes. Close the tabs. And one
Yeah,
of the biggest places this comes from is seeking perfection. But we as humans, we're limited in the knowledge we have
yeah.
until we decide to move forward, until we take the next best step. Like that's when knowledge unfurls. And sometimes it's not what we expect, but we will never know until we try, until we make that binary decision.
I'm very grateful for this. Thank you. And I feel like while I was like seeing my patient today, in the middle of it, although I was stressed and I was more focused on the solutions there and then, my something in my mind kept telling me, what would Mira say in this situation? And it was really nice because I kept telling myself, this is not on me. This is not on me because I have literally done everything. So there were these pops of like my inner voice saying that, and I was able to like push myself through it. And I feel like because I've spoken to you right now as well, it just, yeah, the heaviness is like gone. And I'm like, we'll see. Not right now.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Noor, I'm
Alhamdulillah.
so grateful to hear that you're trusting that part of your inner voice. And when you get home, please give Yusuf and Ibrahim like a big hug and like feel them breathing, living, having you as their mother, as their guide, as their light, and tell me how that felt.
I will.
Okay. Sounds good. I will see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Salam alaikum.
Right.